We need to go ahead and get started, please. Okay, I'm going to call this meeting of the City of Kerrville Planning and Zoning Commission to order at 4:31. Dorothy, would you call roll, please?
Yes, sir. Bob Waller,
Here.
Garrett Harmon,
Here.
Don Barnett,
Here.
Michael Siegerman,
Here.
Rustin Zuber,
Here.
David Jones,
Here.
Marty Leonard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. Number one on the agenda, Visitor Citizens Forum. Any person with business not scheduled on the agenda is encouraged to briefly speak to the commission. Please fill out the speaker request form and give it to the commission secretary prior to the meeting. The number of speakers will be limited to the first 10, and each speaker limited to 3 minutes. No formal action can be taken on these items, as the Open Meetings Act requires formal action items to be posted on an agenda no later than 72 hours before the meeting. If formal action is required, the items be placed on an agenda for a future meeting. Number two on the agenda is the consent agenda. All items listed below on the consent agenda are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless the commissioner or citizen so requests, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item 2A, approval of the minutes from the April 5th, 2018 meeting on page 2. I was not present at this meeting, but I will accept a motion or any changes that need to be made.
I move that the minutes be accepted as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Approved 5-0. Thank you. Number 3, public hearing consideration and action. Number 3A, public hearing, consideration and action on a recommendation to City Council, annexation and zoning. Sabina?
Yes, good evening, my clickers. This item comes before you this afternoon because it has come to our attention that the sign that is on the agenda this evening and that you'll see photos of in just a second exceeds our lighted window sign square footage. The restriction that we have is 3 square feet, so basically an open sign. Those types of things would be permitted to be lit signs, but this sign exceeds that by up to 8 square feet. For up to 11 square feet, it is irregularly shaped, so it is a variable width and height. So that's why, to be on the safe side, we put that it would be a variance of 8 square feet from the 3 square feet to the 11 square feet. The standards for a variance approval are fairly restrictive, and that is that it's written that way on purpose, actually, to make sure that this commission looks at variance requests on their own merit, on a site-by-site, case-by-case basis. So these are the criteria that are outlined in your staff report. I won't go over them specifically, but essentially the applicant is here and can answer any questions that you might have. The site is in our CBD, our Central Business District, and is adjacent to the parking garage. because of its location, it is somewhat hidden and not on the main strip of Water Street where you see most of the businesses. And that is largely the argument for having a sign of this size versus the smaller open style, or the style of an open sign. That's the sign, and then this is the sign in the context. This was not in your staff report, this photo, but it was brought in this afternoon to show you better context of what that sign looks like with its surroundings. And that's all I have for you. Take any questions now or after your public hearing.
Okay. This requires a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing at 4:36. Anybody wishing to talk to this commission, please go to the podium. State your name and address, please. And I have one request on.
My name is Don Vogel. I live at 438 Coronado Drive, but my office is almost directly across the street from this at 212 Clay Street. We're on the corner. I think y'all probably know where we are. My brother and I, Lee, own that building and have owned it since 1975. And we've seen a lot of things come and go. And neither one of us have a problem at all with the sign or with the building. I think and I think, like Sabina said, it's not on the main drag. It's not causing a problem. It's not a traffic hazard. I don't see, any reason that it shouldn't be there. 3 square feet is pretty small, and I think y'all have offered other variances for other businesses in the area. It seemed like Popo might have had one. I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard that. But I don't see any reason in my mind, in our mind. My brother and I are both here. We have, being directly across the street from it, we don't have any
That
problem.
light doesn't blind you as you step out of your
No.
office?
We have to wear sunglasses. but-
Oh,
No, we don't have a problem at all with it.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Any other comments during the public hearing?
Hi, Rob and Michelle Van Fossen. We're the business owners at that site.
And your address for the record?
Home address, sir, or
That'd be fine.
318 Crestwood Drive here in Kerrville.
Okay, thank you.
First of all, we want to thank you guys for the opportunity to speak today and taking the time to review our application for variance. When we took this project on, we considered a great many things. We tried to make every effort to attain the proper permits through the city, county, and through the state to make sure we were in compliance with the different agencies. And we had found that the people we worked with the city offices were fantastic. We had heard complaints before about people having a difficult time. That wasn't the case. We had a great time. They were wonderful to work with, and we really enjoyed that experience. Everything from permit approval to inspections, everything went smoothly for us. We had considered an external sign on the building, but there was really no place to put one because the building has a fairly new rubber membrane roof, and then it's also got a metal awning roof on the front of it, and mounting any type of sign would have required penetration into those roofs, and it would have done building damage, and we were against that. The building owners didn't want that, and so and given the location of the building and the layout to the sidewalk and everything, there was really the only thing we had the option of doing was a window display. And so that's kind of what we decided on, was we're going to go with the window display. And the only information that we'd received initially was that we were allowed one lighted window sign. We were not aware of the 3 square foot variance, or I'm sorry, the limitation. And it just, I know ignorance is not an excuse for not following the rules, but we honestly, we just didn't have the information. And so we also probably wouldn't have spent the sizable amount of money on the custom display, $1,300 if we had known, And so, anyway, it's your turn.
We didn't want to create just another hair salon. It was our vision to create a place that added to the downtown, both from a cultural and business perspective. We wanted to create a place where clients loved coming and team members loved working. Even though we've only been open for 4 months, if you look at the 35 5-star reviews our Google business page has, I think we're accomplishing that. It was also our vision to create a place where we could pass on the knowledge from a close to 30-year career of working in the industry in high-end salons. I've traveled all across the country doing what I do. I actually have several international clients. And one of my passions, and I'm out of time. Was that somebody else's time, or was that my time?
Go ahead and finish.
Thank you, sir. Let me find where I was. One of my passions has been to teach the next generation how to be professional in our industry. We're already training one new associate who graduated from the local cosmetology school, and our plan is to hire at least a half a dozen more associates in the next 2 to 3 years. There are people who travel to Austin and to San Antonio to get their hair done for what they perceive to be better skill sets and a better value and a better overall high-end experience. Our goal is to keep as many of those dollars here in Kerrville as we possibly can, because we know we can provide that experience here. Again, referring to our Google review, we think we've accomplished this, or we are, I should say, we've just started. We also want to be a positive force in the community by being an active part of the community. We have already donated to numerous charities which benefit not only the local community, but its citizens as well. We look at hair as a form of art. It is our goal to make each client look and feel their best they can after leaving our establishment. Because art is what we do, we currently have on display at the salon a dozen pieces from a local artist named Tish Miller. And my intention is to rotate local artists at no cost to the artist for hanging, and they're available for purchase, and we do not charge a commission. The inside of our studio is a piece of art, the work we produce is art, and our window display is a custom-made piece of art that incorporates our business name.
And the display was created by a man named Ray Lynch out of San Antonio, who is known in the industry as the king of neon. And he learned how to do his craft bending tubes 25 years ago up in Irving, Texas from a guy that, let's see, his name here was Ed Waldrum, the Ed Waldrum School of Neon. And Ray's been serving the community, for 25 years, and every tube in our display has been custom bent. The colors were carefully chosen to match the decor on the inside. And again, as my wife said, our goal is to be a positive force in the community, and so our sign is a big part of that, and we're just hoping that you consider our application for variance.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments during the public hearing? Hearing none, seeing none. Close the public hearing at 4:43. Commissioners, comments?
I think it's a tribute to you guys, what you've done there and what the neighbors think of you and what people think of you, of all the letters that we have here asking us to approve and in support of what you've done. I think the sign is pretty impressive.
I'll be honest, reading through this at first, I didn't see a lot of grounds for variance, but after listening to you, seeing the letters, and I guess it's one thing to have a bunch of letters from friends and clients in your support, but to me, having your only neighbor from across the street who looks at this every day be in support of it, that carries a lot of weight, not just because we end up, seeing their work quite a bit, but truly is your only neighbor, and so that carries a lot of weight. I think looking at this photograph, this window sign probably is more attractive than anything that would have been put up on the roof that would have been compliant. And so, I feel this is one of those instances where a variance probably makes some sense. And probably even need to look at our sign ordinance and see if there's any way to loosen up that 3 square foot restriction on a window sign. So.
Yes, Sabina, do you know the purpose of restricting a lighted window sign to 3 square feet? What is the purpose behind that? Does anybody know?
My only guess is to limit to the open style, like I mentioned, that possibly the intent was, and that's my guess, and just having worked with sign ordinances before, is that is to, and obviously the whole purpose of the sign ordinance is to mitigate or to reduce sign clutter, the likelihood. So if you have a lot of lighted window signs, that could become an issue. And I think 3 square feet was just where the line was drawn in the past.
Yeah. To me, that this does reduce sign clutter by putting it in the window. my opinion, but
I
Certainly
think
within
if
your
it was
purview.
not lighted, it wouldn't be a problem. It
If
wouldn't
it
even
were
be
not,
here.
that's correct, that's correct.
Any other comments?
I think it's an attractive sign myself, so I'm in favor of it.
Okay, I'm open to a motion.
Also move, let's grant them variance.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Number 4 on the agenda, staff report.
No report?
No, obviously you guys are aware, sitting on the steering committee, it's kind of our focus right now is getting through the comprehensive plan. I did send you guys an email today through Doodle Poll. It's a calendar polling system. To look at setting up a separate workshop for the parking conditional use permits.
Okay.
For now, we'll try and schedule 1 2-hour session, see how far we get, see how much our heads hurt after that. From there, we'll see how many more we need to schedule to go through, like the commission asked for, to go through each zoning district, the purpose statement, and what staff recommendation is, and then obviously some feedback from the commission. If you don't mind, go ahead and fill out that poll. I think I've got I got 4 respond.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, just check some boxes. We'll just see who's available when, what works best. I don't know if we'll meet in here or if we'll meet in our conference room. Just fairly informal discussion. And Mr. Waller did ask, it is a posted meeting, so it would be open to the public.
Okay.
But it's not anything where we'd invite comment, just that they can come sit and listen. As we kind of work through longer version of our presentation and what we've recommended. Then we'll come back during a regular meeting for the action item at a later date.
Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Motion and second.
Second.
All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you.